Traditionally, we've hardened our shorelines. We've put up walls to separate us from the water, and that works for the short time. The problem is it reflects the energy to your adjacent neighbors. A living shoreline typically sits just offshore. It maintains that transition between the water and the land for both people and animals. It creates habitat both inside and off. And what it does is it absorbs the energy of the wave coming through instead of reflecting the energy of the wave coming through.
So Quick Reef is a product that we came up with as an alternative living shoreline. Oyster shells are great in bags, but that's kind of a finite resource. That's one reason why we use this native rock called marl, which is a limestone, a calcium carbonate. The problem with marl is it's light. So people would put marl rock out there and it would float away in a storm. It would just kind of roll off. We got the marl and said, hey, why don't we impregnate that in the concrete, make our concrete out of it. And that's where we ended up with Quick Reef.
When you make a decision to buy a piece of property on the coast, on the water, you're drawn to it because of a coastal lifestyle. There's lots to do. The weather's beautiful, the scenery's gorgeous, there's seafood, if you like to fish. There's so much to do, but what goes along with that is impact by Mother Nature.
Without all of the living shorelines in our estuary, we would likely lose a lot of the seafood we like to eat.
Unfortunately, what people have done is they've worked to harden their shoreline. So they've done that for many, many years, and then in the process you lose all of the habitat, the important salt marsh and oysters in front of the bulkhead.
Plants are going to trap sediment and prevent it from moving offshore. And then the oysters provide that additional barrier in form of a reef. And so in combination, they provide this fairly stable environment within what's already mostly a very dynamic environment. So you can essentially keep that shoreline in place.
In areas where there is natural oyster spat in the water and the oysters attach themselves to the units and grow, and we build an oyster reef, that reef can outpace sea level rise.
They're less expensive, they're maintenance free, and they last a long time, and they survive a lot of these storms that we've been having.
They are our most resilient option. So the more we can do to encourage salt marsh, the more resilient our coast is. So the living shoreline is not only growing the oysters, but it is encouraging and maintaining and restoring the marshes behind them.
It's evident for the last almost 2 decades that this living shoreline has stabilized. If you're a steward of your property, you want to do what you can do to protect against the ever-changing weather, and Quick Reef is a key component of living shorelines.